to do another live recording for you guys. This is going to be pretty short because I only have so much battery on my phone today for this one. I just did one over on Instagram, so I just wanted to pop over here and, kind of say hi and do a little reading here with my Trees Oracle deck. I have been using this over on Instagram and I really am liking what I'm getting. It's just kind of, refreshing to do something different. So I'm going to be reading from this. I may be pulling some charms and we'll see what we get. I do want to let you know, those of you who did not get, an email from me, I emailed everyone yesterday. And I have not posted on my website yet, but I'm going to be having a changing of a bit of availability starting in August. Okay, because of a new job, so hours are going to be of availability are going to be changing significantly. Essentially, all of July is going to be like normal. If anybody wants to book, this is the time to book. After that, I'm pretty much gonna be only available Saturdays or Sundays, maybe just Sundays. And after I think September, I will only be available like by rare appointment, and I'll have a wait list. I'm gonna be working mandatory overtime during that time. I don't anticipate coming back to doing private readings in the way that I've been doing it now for at least like a year. So for those of you who want to book, this is the time to book a reading. My prices are what they are right now as well. Going forward, my prices are significantly going to go up. Like I did make them, I think it was between 100 and 200 per reading when I lived in Omaha, which may seem like a lot, but I did that because essentially I had very limited availability, and that's another thing that's going to be happening. So like right now, I'm available for private readings until I start this new thing. So essentially, all of July, if you wanted to book, please let me know. This is the time to do it. I'll have flexibility in scheduling and all that, and can schedule pretty quickly. But go after August 1st. It may take me longer to respond to people, and most likely, I'm just going to be reading a lot less and booking a lot less. So it could take probably I would say 3 to 6 months to get a reading with me after August 1st, potentially even longer. I'm looking at probably more like 6 months to a year to get another reading with me. I know it sounds pressury, but that's going to be my schedule and my life going forward. So I'm just letting everybody know this is a massive change for me, massive change for my clients, and this is just kind of the way it's going forward. I'm excited for this change. I made this change for a long time, so I'm really excited for it and I'm ready for it. But for clients who want to get scheduled, please send a payment and email me and let me know your time zone. That way I can get you scheduled in July. And then go forward. Going forward, you can always say, hey, I want to be added to your wait list later in time. So today I am reading for my Trees Oracle. I may pull some charms, like I said, and I'm just going to see what we get. I'm going to lay out some cards. Those of you who do want to donate, this is the time to donate. Again, also, I am trying to stay afloat here through July. It's kind of a transition time for me, so all the love and support is appreciated at this time. I am really excited about the North Node in Aries shift. I can already feel it. For those of you who, are sensitive to energy, you may also be feeling it as well. We have this beautiful outcome here. I really like this elm tree card. It has a lot of very peaceful vibes. Um, those of you who live on a farm or are planning on buying like a farmhouse or doing any kind of like maybe traveling to go to like a place that has a very rural area, who love the outdoors, this is really going to be your time. Um, this is a timeless reading. Um, so I want to say this is like summer energy, but it could also be next summer as well, because this is timeless. Could be summer for the time that you're watching it, maybe later in time. Also, like you could be watching this, say, midwinter, 2023, 2024, and then, it's summer there, 6 months later. So, later down the line in time, we have this beautiful outcome. I haven't seen a positive outcome in any of my spreads for a while now, and I don't know why that is, but like I'm always pulling for a positive outcome, because that tells me that the way things are headed is that it's going to be positive later in time, even if it isn't right now. And that gives people a lot to look forward to, and it's a blessing to actually be able to see that. That actually means that people are maybe getting back on track, or maybe people are headed in a direction that's going to be making them happy. I want to talk about this card a little bit more and see what I get. Interesting. I didn't even notice. You can see here there's like a little leaf here that's orange. And I put it down right next to the apples. So I would say, too, that this could also be applicable for some of you in the fall. Like something is happening in the fall that's really positive. Potentially, that's going to bring you a lot of peace. And I don't know specifically what that is. That could be spending more time outside, buying a property, moving somewhere, into a property that you want to be in. It could be also potentially foraging, baking, cooking, doing things that bring you a lot of joy, or doing things that bring you a lot of happiness. It's interesting, like for me personally, I cook like every meal. So like I need it to be cool in my apartment, and my apartment heats up like in July and August, and it's very frustrating. I can't bake, I can't make any of the good, banana breads that I love, and pumpkin breads and stuff like that. So it's like in the fall, I could see people doing that a lot more. And I feel like too, you're going to be doing things that bring you a lot of joy. Like my guides are showing me a time period. It's been 20 years actually. It's like 2003. Sorry, is it 2003? Yeah, 2003. I remember going home from college, and then, wanting to kind of take a break. Like, I don't know, I had a little time. Maybe it was like a little time off from work. And I was like, I want to take a break, and I want to go back to Chicago, check on my old apartment, and like not be in school and not be working. And it was like a little mini vacation for myself. It was like a 3-day weekend, or maybe 4 days, where I flew back to Chicago. I went, and I remember doing all these things that I loved to do. I went to the farmer's market, and I remember getting a banana bread. And I remember, like, I don't know, just kind of bopping around town and getting all these little things done that, taking a little time for myself and doing things that I really loved to do. And that was like my time. And I felt like I remember it so clearly. So you might be doing that. Like in the fall, you might be doing things that just like maybe going to a farmer's market, or I don't know, joining a book club, or, going shopping and buying things, maybe for some of you, going apple picking, or, going to pumpkin patches, or doing something that's really going to I don't know, like bring you some joy. Like, we have, it's actually interesting. I was actually envisioning like a bonfire as I was talking about that, and then I remembered we also have this ash card, which as you can see there's a fire there. So, you might be going, like I was seeing, like it sounds kind of weird, but like I could see you going to like maybe like a party and there's like a bonfire, or doing stuff with friends, and like um going out and doing something like outside after, like in the fall time. You know what I mean? Where there's people maybe drinking hard cider. My guide said hard cider. I don't normally get that. Okay, so for some of you, like that might be something that you're doing now. For some of you, it's not those things specifically, but like it could be just any of the things that you like to do. It feels like there's some like ease. There's so much ease and so much peace in this card that it's just ease and grace. Like whatever is you're headed to, like you're headed to ease and grace. And ease and grace is like, and I remember that trip specifically, where that trip was when I went to Chicago that summer. It was easy. It was probably the easiest flight I've ever been on. It was probably the easiest, like, I don't know, trip that I ever took, really, that I can think of. Everything went really smoothly. So I feel like there's a smoothness to this. You can see there's a smoothness in this. There's a soft edge to this landscaping, and along that, it looks like, to me, it looks like a little stream. It's just very soft looking. So I feel like that's part of it. So yeah, to me, it's like heading in a very positive direction. I'm going to put those cards over there. Now, I want to talk about this ash card for a second, and I have to say something here about this trees oracle deck. Is that every time I've read from this deck, it's been very positive. I don't see the trees oracle as being really having the heaviness of, say, some of the other tarot cards, other tarot meanings, although they can. So anything that might be remotely negative that might happen is usually like for your own good, or something good will come out of it, or something good will happen later. And I say that because we have this ash card coming in from this outside. And the ash card to me is kind of like the death card in the tarot. And I want to pull that card out just to kind of look at them together. Let me see. I'm going to put the cards down for just a second, the phone down for a second. I'm still here, but it's going to take me a second. I need to really look for this card. But yeah, basically, it's weird because I thought I just saw it. Here we go. Okay, so we have this. I'm going to wait for it to focus. We have this ash card. And then we have this death card. I'm noticing these irises in the front here. I'm also noticing the holly berries and the holly. And I'm noticing this opening in this, it looks like this like hedge there in the card. It's like an opening. And I'm noticing how pretty this tree actually looks. And how like these branches are, like whoever the artist was really, took their time to kind of create these really pretty branches that are kind of delicately drawn out, and they have like this kind of curviness to them, but it's also just like this beautiful pattern. From an artist's perspective, it's just a really pretty pattern, but like from my perspective, it kind of changes the way I'm looking at this card. I could talk about how with the death card and transformation, change comes in twos or threes. Usually it's a relationship change, it's a job change, or career change, or it's something else that causes you to change. Sometimes it's moving, and sometimes it's all of the above. Change your relationship, change your job, change your life, change your career, get a new dog, whatever it is that you're changing, it's part of your transformation. But to me, there's something beautiful about this change. And there's something kind of eternal about this change. Like the holly trees are kind of eternal. And I feel like there's a beauty to it. There's something quite beautiful here. To me, it feels very much like whatever the changes are, I feel like it's coming as a kind of mastery of what you've been through. It's not like a change that feels forceful. It doesn't feel like it's going to be too painful. For some of you, it is painful because, for whatever reason, like it's not going to be fun and like entirely. Okay. It's a process. So, change for some people is harder than others. So yeah, some of you might be upset about whatever it is that's coming. I feel like it's more of an opportunity that you're taking than a full life change or transformation, although for some of you it could be. I also feel like, okay, so it was right next to this Suji card. Sorry, my focus. It's not. No. Just a minute. Let's see if maybe, oh, there we go. There we go. My focus back. Okay. You see how this tree is has a massive trunk, and it looks like it's been there for a really long time. There is something I feel like that's going to be changing in your life, that's been in your life for a really long time. Or that's going to be changing, that's more like something that's been blocking you for a really long time. Like, it feels more of like this has been blocking you. To me, it's not like the tree's been blocking you. Okay, this is not literal. It's more like something in your life has blocked you. Something in your life has said no. Something in your life has not worked. Something in your life that has maybe grown for a really long time in kind of like this isolation, because we only have this bird here. And I always think of it as being, I don't know, it's kind of like this single solitary person that's been single for so long. So those of you who have been single for a really long time, that's going to change. For some of you, if you've been blocked, let's just say from an opportunity, from a job, or from, I don't know, relationships, or I don't know, some kind of prosperity, I feel like there's going to be an opportunity or opening that comes through at this time for you. To me, it's a blessing. It feels like a blessing. My guides are confirming it's a blessing. And the hard part is that anything in your life that's been really long standing, is, again, it's going to be changing. Now, for me, for some people, okay, for example, if you have something that's very, very old, let's just say, you need a new car, okay? It's going to be one of those things where it's going to come easily, because it's sort of like, when your shoes are worn out, you have to go get another pair. You can't, it's not an option. So I feel like it's just going to happen naturally. It's going to happen naturally in its own time. And I feel like many of you are like, to me, whatever it is, and it doesn't have to be a car, okay? But like that's the example. Whatever it is that's coming, that's going to be a change, to me, it's going to happen. It's going to happen in its own time. It's going to happen in a way that feels kind of smooth. It feels very smooth to me. For some of you, those of you who live in an area like similar to where I am, like it's hot and very dry, there's going to be a lot of forest fires this season. I feel like this is forest fires. So I would tell you to make sure that you have enough water and snacks and a bag packed if you live in that kind of area. We are talking Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, California. It is interesting. Somebody's fire alarm was just going off just now. Anytime, this card, a card shows up in this position, is one of those things where it's in a position that tells me something's coming. Something's coming in. Change is coming in. I feel like self-mastery is coming in. I feel like some kind of smooth transition, a smooth change is coming in. I feel like an opportunity is coming in. I feel like an opportunity is coming in when it has been previously blocked. And it's been blocked for a long time. So some of you, something's coming in, something's going to transform your life in some way. I also feel like, again, that the forest fires are going to be an issue this season. And like right now, it's July 1st, and there's a fire advisory warning because it's so dry. It's like only 10% humidity or something crazy like that, and there's high winds. So it makes it really one of those things where weather-wise, it's not good weather for fire prevention. So I would tell you everybody to have extra water on hand, have extra snacks on hand, canned good things like that. Be ready to go if you live in that kind of area. I feel like specifically I'm seeing California. My guides are showing me California. Anybody that lives in California, and I'm getting a lot of emotion on this too. It could be like old growth forests that go this year. I'm seeing old growth forests go. I don't know if it's all of California or if it's just only certain parts of California. But my guides are showing me like old growth. There's some old growth forests that burn this year, which is why it's getting me very emotional because it's like long standing. Again, we have this Suji tree. This is very long standing energy. I specifically feel like it's California, but it could be other areas too. Other areas. In other states, specifically these areas that are very hot, very dry. Could be also Arizona as well. Some places in Arizona, potentially. I don't feel like as much Arizona. I don't know why I got Arizona as well. Could be Texas too. Places that you probably wouldn't expect there to be fires because maybe there's not a lot of like forest area. There's a lot of forest area in the, Washington, Oregon, California, places near where I live. This could also be applicable to places that are not in the United States as well. I can't see everything. I don't have a map in front of me. This is just what I'm seeing for right at this moment. There was another psychic who predicted that all of California eventually would burn. And the thing is that to me, I don't necessarily feel like that's going to happen right away. This season, it could be next season, the season following. I don't know how long that's going to be or if that's going to come to pass. I just know that there's going to be a significant amount of fire this season because I'm seeing this. So those of you who live in an area there could be fires. You need to be prepared that there could be fires. Um, I'm trying to think of what else that wants to come through regarding that. I think I'm just going to pull a few charms. I'm running out of batteries here on my cell phone, so it'll just pull a few charms and see what I get, and kind of go from there. Hi, Maddie. Thanks for saying hi. Appreciate it. Just let you guys know, if you guys are just joining, how long you've been watching, my availability for private readings is pretty much only going to be through July. After that, my availability for private readings is only going to be on weekends, potentially only Sundays. Starting in September, I will basically have only a wait list. I will not be available for private readings at that time. So for those of you who wanted to get a private reading, now would be the time to do so. Got a lot of interesting ones coming out today. It's interesting. These have never come out together. I put them in here. We have like a washer and a screw. Then we have this little hook that I've just put in here as well. I want to talk about some of these messages because these charms, because these ones are actually new. So this little hook here, I want to talk about this first. This little hook to me indicates hooks and cords of attachment issues. Some of you might just be very attached to somebody in your life. Some of you are still attached energetically to someone who's no longer in your life, and it would be good for you to work on detaching from them, potentially, doing any kind of like cord cutting healing session, things like that. I would probably recommend doing that. You'll know if you have a cord of attachment problem because you'll be thinking about somebody all the time. You won't be able to get them out of your mind. They'll be in your mind. You'll be thinking about them constantly. You'll be constantly wondering what's going on with them, even if the relationship is over. So that's the first message that wants to come through. Second is, obviously we have a screw here. And I put it in there because there was a certain day in which I felt like I was absolutely screwed. I was like, life is screwing me over. Like, this is no fun anymore. I'm not having fun anymore. Please get me out. Like, some of you might actually feel, sorry, we went out of focus here. Some of you might actually feel like the universe is trying to screw you over real bad. But to me, this is the tricky part about this is that unless you are actually fixing something, and some of you might actually be fixing something that's broken, unless you're doing that or you're doing any kind of construction work, this to me is a temporary feeling. It's just your perspective. It's not forever. And some of the worst times when you feel like you're totally screwed, something good will happen. And it's interesting because we have this something good things are going to happen charm right next to it. So, they say that like the light comes in at the last second. So sometimes things can happen last minute. So like the money can come through last minute if you're waiting on something like that. A job offer could come through last minute, just at the point where you're like, I'm totally screwed. I'm totally fucked. You know what I mean? Like, this is where something good happens. So I would expect that actually. And I'm not just saying that, to me, it's more just a feeling. It's not literal. I went out of focus again. There we go. Okay. So that's what I want to say about that. The washer to me is like repairs, could even be just like an oil change in your car. To me, it could be repairs on a car, could be repairs on any kind of machinery. It's really funny. I bought this clock recently, and it had this little pin that fell out right before I bought it. And I was like, okay, it's a sign. It wants me to take it. So I took it. And then today, like the pin fell into my carpet and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to find it again. It's lost. And then I found it and I was like, and then I fixed it. So like it has like a little door and the pin went into the door and I fixed it and now it's fixed. So it could be something little as simple as just doing something like that. But then it also could be something major that you're doing. I actually feel like you might actually be working on that with some kind of female. I don't know. We have this mama bear thing here too. So you might be, fixing problems with your children or fixing issues around the house, or you might be fixing issues with a parent or a mother figure or somebody like that in your life. You might actually be repairing a relationship between you and a mother figure also, working on something like that as well. For some of you, this is going to be really like small percent. You might actually be having some kind of surgery or like OBGYN kind of thing where you're getting something fixed. And I don't know what that is. Like it could be just like a hysterectomy, or it could be like some kind of procedure where you're getting something done. It could be like getting your tubes tied. I don't know, that sounds really strange, but that's like getting fixed would be like getting your tubes tied or like something like that, some kind of procedure, some kind of feminine procedure where you're having something done. You could also, if you're female and just watching and you're like, you could just be having some work done, any kind of medical procedure as well. Something to me, it feels more like you're getting something fixed, some kind of thing where they do kind of surgery where we have to sew something. Now this could be like an eye lift or a facelift or some kind of thing where you're having some work done. That's what I'm getting, cosmetic mostly for most of you. You could be thinking about like, this could be like your mom getting some kind of cosmetic procedure and you have to go pick her up. Or like, this could be you having some kind of cosmetic procedure and this is what you're doing, That's what I'm seeing as well. The only caution here is for those of you who want to know about, like, say, someone who's cheating, I would not dig for answers. I would let that person go. If you like want to know, like some of you are really hung up on answers, I would not push for answers at this time. And some of you need to work on your desperation levels because like you're desperate for a relationship and that's not going well. It's not going to go well. For some of you, need to work on you're desperate for money. Also, like there's desperation for money or desperation for some kind of finances. And so the caution is, to me, it's more, actually, it feels more about the caution about digging for answers for someone who's cheating is really the message. The financial thing is more in the periphery. So you have, you could be getting kind of like, you might be on the borderline of like, desperation for money, but it's not like at that level yet. Like you could be getting there or just be in that mindset, but I don't necessarily feel like that's going to be for most of you. I feel like most of you, it's just like some of you want to know answers to things that it's like you could also be trying to stick your nose into somebody else's business too. So I would tell you to keep your nose out of trouble and like not pay too much attention what's going on with other people. Not what's going on with exes, like you could be looking online on social media and stuff, and like you need to pull back from all that. To me, that's that's the caution here. We've got this interesting like I don't know. I want to call it the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, which is we have the ship wheel here plus the sword. It's got a very theatrical. Some of you might actually have some theatrical flair, flair for drama, for things that are more like you might be going to see like a movie, or you might be going to like a theater show, or you might be going to doing something that has something to do with like nautical things. Like you might be going to like a boat show, or like going and doing like one of those boat things where I forget they call it. It's like where all the boats get together and they kind of hang out. I don't know, doing one of those boat things. You could go on like a boat tour. There's tons of like things, like there's a Chicago boat tour. There's also things where, I'm seeing also Florida. I'm seeing places that are very beachy or very like, they have like a nautical theme. You might be doing some decorating and also like be decorating things kind of like with a nautical kind of theme where there's like boats and things too. I don't know why I'm seeing that. The metaphor too, like is more of like, someone's drawing a line in the sand about something. I'm seeing it's kind of a random thing. And someone is wanting to move or wanting some kind of travel, but there's some issue around it. I don't know, there could be issues with travel, issues with planning your travel. There could be like where you need to like actually stop traveling because maybe you've run out of money or it's time to go home, or you're having issues going home or getting home. I don't know, like you need to watch whatever amount of spending that you're doing on travel as well. There's some restriction element here. I don't know, it's sort of like the bank cutting you off too as far as like your travel. So let's just say, or like you went on a trip and you went into like you got into a kind of hairy area where you're, you know, I don't know, like you spent too much, you went to overdraft or something. This is where the bank says, okay, we're not going to pay anymore. Something like that. I feel like this is very specific and it's only for like very few people, but like I don't feel like this is most of you. I feel like most of you are, to me, this is something beachy. This is like going to the movies. It's summertime. Could you even be going to like one of those drive-in movies? Like there's doing a lot of them now. So like you could be doing like a drive-in movie kind of thing, which is really fun and I don't know, very popular. You might get really dressed up. You might be going to like a costume party or something too, like something like that as well. I don't know why I'm seeing that. I do feel like you're either going to be going on a fun date or you're going to be refreshing your wardrobe. My guide said refreshing your wardrobe. We have this little dress, even if you're not into fashion at all, you could just be simply going shopping and refreshing your wardrobe. Losing focus here. There we go. So yeah, that's what I see there. I think this is where I want to leave it, guys. I appreciate all the love and support. Hit me up if you want to do a reading. I will talk to you guys soon. Please send a donation if you can at this time. It helps me out through this time. It's like a little bit of a transition period. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. I wish you guys the best. And I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye, guys.